It's time to go. Let's go.
Hello, fellow marketing wizards and SEO enthusiasts. Welcome to another session of LinkGraph webinar. I'm Fidan Alzada, marketing manager at LinkGraph, and we are thrilled to have you here today to talk to you about something that has been revolutionizing the world of SEO, AI and SEO software. And let me introduce you to our featured speaker, Arman, our director of SEO, who is an absolute SEO ninja with over 6 years of experience in technical SEO, link building, content writing, strategic advisory. He's going to be sharing his knowledge and experience with us on the fascinating topic of AI and SEO software. We would love to hear from you. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the Q&A section. You can be sure that all your questions will be answered throughout the webinar. And if you're ready, let's get ready to rock this digital and SEO world. And I cannot wait to see what he has in the store to share with us today.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Fidan. So hey, everyone, my name is Arman. I'm the director of SEO. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to join this session. As Fidan mentioned, we are going to be talking about AI, its applications in SEO, and I'm going to try to give you guys some advice and tips on how to better utilize AI to get better SEO results. So let's kind of go ahead and get started. The first question, and I'm sure you guys hear this question all the time, is AI content bad for SEO? There are a ton of different opinions on this topic. But if you look at what Google actually has to say about the subject, they've actually been very prominent in saying that, AI and the power of AI is actually a huge tool. It really does help automate and accelerate the production of content. And Google's focus is on the quality of the content rather than how that content is created. Google did actually post this in a webmaster blog where they've kind of outlined their thoughts. I've included a link to this in the presentation if you guys want to take a look at this after the call. Essentially, they're saying that AI has been used in search for years. This is not a new addition to the search ecosystem. Just the applications of AI have changed significantly over the last 10 years. Some of the examples that Google has given about the historic applications of AI include things like weather forecasting, video transcriptions, or even, financial news and financial information. So AI is definitely not anything new, and it is not against Google's policies to use AI. So what does Google actually mean when they're talking about the AI applications? So they're saying AI created content is not bad by default, the same way human created content is not good by default, right? I'm sure we can all agree that we've worked with writers in the past where the quality of the content that was sent back over to us was subpar. It was just not grammatically correct. It didn't justify the actual search intent behind the topic. So along that same line of thinking, not all AI content is bad, just like not all human created content is good. Really what Google cares about is the quality of that content. Is it useful? Is it helpful? Is it well-written? Is it educating? Is it informing the target audience? The process by which that content is created is actually irrelevant. It's really just the substance of what is created. And Google has, kind of talked about several applications for the AI content, but those applications are changing as AI technology becomes more ubiquitous among SEO community. Automation at its core helps you scale a thoughtful strategy, but you need to have a thoughtful strategy in play. You need to define what are you trying to create content about? Is it just for search engine optimization, or are you actually trying to, elevate your brand and attract consumers through the quality of your content, right? So where does AI content work? And AI content works really great if, for example, you're an e-commerce store and you have hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of SKUs, and you're trying to create product description pages for all of your different SKUs. Doing this manually is going to be an incredibly painful task for you, unless you have a massive team. And even if you do have a massive team, arguably their time can be better spent on other activities that are going to move the needle more effectively. So utilizing AI to create product descriptions at scale is a great application for AI. Metadata, things like your title tags, your meta descriptions, and your headers. If your site is relatively small, meaning it has 50 or fewer pages, then I would recommend taking the time out of your day and actually just crafting your metadata manually. But if you're managing or working on a large site with hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of pages, again, same kind of philosophy applies to the product description pages. Doing this manually will just burn away your resources. So using AI to create metadata at scale is a great application for this as well. You can also use AI for content. The best application for AI as it relates to content is going to be for your blog posts, glossary style content, or your FAQ copy that you're going to be putting on your service pages, your product pages, or standalone FAQ pages on the website. And ultimately, the goal of AI is to support a writer's productivity. It's not meant to replace a writer. It's meant to accelerate the output of the writer by reducing the amount of time they need to spend researching rather generic topics, right? And it really just helps them accelerate their output, which is really what the goal of AI is. Where AI content doesn't work, oftentimes it's not going to work for producing really well-researched content, because oftentimes AI generated content lacks citations. So it can make claims, it can, kind of say A equals B, but it's not going to give you the reason or the source of where it actually got that information from. The other side of it is the data that AI generates sometimes is outdated, it's not accurate, or it just doesn't provide concrete data points that you can, feel confident in citing in your research material. AI is also quite poor, in my opinion, at creating fresh ideas or creating thought leadership or brand voice. The fresh ideas aspect of it is because if we think about the way AI works, if you give it a prompt about a particular topic, let's say local SEO or really any topic, the way the AI is deriving the output is by scanning the corpus of information that exists on that topic on the internet, right? It's looking at Google, it's looking at what has the world as a whole said about this topic, and it synthesizes that data and creates a succinct summary on that subject matter. But it's not actually bringing anything new or revolutionary to the table, right? And then the other side of it is if you're writing content for web copy of your landing pages, let's say your homepage or your service pages or your industry solution pages or your company pages, the AI is not going to be able to encapsulate your brand voice, essentially what differentiates you from your competitors, right? So those are going to be some of the shortcomings as it relates to AI content generation. So what can you use AI for in SEO aside from content? So you can absolutely use it for creating the supplemental content like your blogs, your guides, your FAQs, your buyer guides, things like that. You can use it for your product description pages. You can use it for sections of your web copy. I wouldn't allow it to write the entirety of your web copy for like your core SEO landing pages, but you can use it for some of the supporting content. You can use it for your meta tags, and you can use it to create new images that have not been used before and that are not stock images or just generic images. AI is also really great at content ideation or content planning. You can use it to kind of build a content roadmap for your website or your industry and really, lessen the dependency on the writer being the one that comes up with the topic and allow the AI to kind of give you a broad list of potential topics, and then you select the ones that make the most sense from that list. You can also use AI to automate simple and time-consuming tasks. One application that we've personally been using ChatGPT for is to actually programmatically respond to Google Business Profile reviews when the reviews are rather generic, right? This is a task that most local businesses should be doing. They should be proactively monitoring and responding to their reviews. But if the review that was left on your profile was like, hey, this is a great experience, I'll definitely come back, you don't necessarily need to allocate time or resources to crafting a thank you message to that, right? So using AI automation for things like that is going to be quite valuable. Obviously, one of the oldest applications for AI in content writing is semantically spinning content, so rewriting content or translating it from different languages. The translation process of AI has gotten a lot more sophisticated. Previously, years ago, when you used to use translation services like Google Translate, for example, the results you would get were kind of hit or miss. But as more and more people have been using that technology, the AI model has been learning and adapting and is becoming a lot stronger from a natural language processing standpoint. So translation of content through AI is actually quite good these days. And more recently, you can actually start using AI to automate some of your on-page SEO strategies. We at LinkGraph have actually built a tool called Auto that actually helps you create a roadmap for bi-weekly sprints in terms of things you can do to actionably improve your SEO using our AI to guide you along the way. Now, before we go any further, I'd love to just kind of poll the room really quickly and get a sense for what type of AI software or AI writing software do you guys typically use? I put some examples of some of the most popular tools that are out there. Obviously, ChatGPT, Search Atlas, which is our platform, tools like Write Sonic, ClearScope, Copy AI, Phrase, Jasper, or Write. Would you guys mind just typing in the chat if you're using any of the above tools or another tool that I haven't mentioned?
Personally, I have been using ChatGPT a lot, and I started using Search Atlas for the Google Search Console especially, but I'm curious to know what are the favorite AI softwares of our audience.
Okay, seeing a lot of ChatGPT in the chat. Some Jasper as well. Okay, cool.
You guys can also mention that what do you love about using that software as well? What makes you to use that software?
Awesome. Seeing a few Search Atlas users in the chat as well. Love to see that. Amazing. Okay, cool. Seems like most people are using ChatGPT in combination with one or more other tools. Fantastic. Cool. So what are some of the shortcomings of most of the AI content tools out there, right? And this obviously speaks to kind of why we're having this webinar. So in my opinion, one of the biggest shortcomings of this tool or of AI tools in general is that they are standalone content products, right? Like if you go to ChatGPT, it's a text-based prompt editor. If you go to a lot of these other tools, they are effectively just a standalone siloed content writing tool. And by nature, that's going to give you a lack of SEO considerations, right? It's giving you content based off of a series of prompts. The content is in theory well written, but it's not necessarily looking at all of the SEO best practices and factors that allow the content that you've created to actually rank well in search, right? So oftentimes it's not looking at things like internal linking from blog post A to blog post B. It's not looking at, have we added the right schema markup onto this page? Have we structured our heading tags properly? Have we included the right keywords in our titles or our meta descriptions? So all of these steps that need to happen after you've created the content are going to then require you, the user, to either sign up for another tool or sign up for several other tools to get a complete response or a complete finished product, right? So for example, if you're using a content specific tool that doesn't have keyword researching capabilities, then you need to sign up for something like Ahrefs or SEMrush or Google's Keyword Planner to figure out what are the right keywords I should optimize this page for. If the tool doesn't have a site auditing feature, you're not going to be able to quickly figure out what your internal link opportunity should be. If the tool doesn't have a schema generator, we're not going to be putting in the right schema on that page, which again helps search engines interact better with your content, right? And then I would say one of the biggest, most frequent pain points of AI content tools is that they're not integrated with platforms like Grammarly or Copyscape. So sometimes the content does not read well from a grammatical perspective, or oftentimes there'll be sections or blocks of text that are actually plagiarized, which could hurt you more than they can help you, right? So utilizing a tool as a content-only product is totally fine if you are also supplementing that with other robust SEO-focused tools. If you're using Search Atlas, for example, our platform actually includes all of these tools in there. But regardless of what platform you're using, these considerations must be taken into account if you want the content that you're creating to actually perform well in SEO, which is probably why we're all here today. Cool. So how do you create good content with AI? The first thing you're going to want to do is define the type of page that you're creating. Are you creating a blog post? Are you creating a service page, a product page? Is it some type of glossary content? Is it a guide? Is it FAQ? You want to define the page. Then you want to create a cluster of targeted keywords that you're trying to get that page to rank for. You don't want to just pick one keyword. You want to pick one primary keyword, a secondary keyword, and a few tertiary variations. So that way you're capturing the multitude of different ways people are searching for that same piece of information. When you're selecting your keywords, you're going to want to be paying attention to things like the search intent. Is the keyword that you're optimizing for, is it informational in nature? Is it transactional? Is it commercial? Is it branded? Like, what is the intent behind that query? You also want to look at the difficulty, like how competitive is this keyword in organic search? Is my site authoritative enough to actually rank for this topic? Or should I pick a lower difficulty topic? You want to look at the volume of the cluster of search terms and make sure that there's enough meaningful traffic potential to justify you even creating this piece of content to begin with. And ideally, you should also look at the cost per click of the keywords. The cost per click is going to be the average cost per click that is that people are paying in the ad networks. The higher the cost per click, the more likely that you actually get conversions from that traffic, right? So once you've defined your page and you've created a cluster of keywords that you're trying to optimize for, you're going to want to configure your AI settings to match the style of the content that you're creating. So you're going to pick a tone of voice. Are you writing in a professional tone of voice? Are you writing casual? Is this supposed to be witty or funny? You're going to want to pick the point of view, first person, second person, third person, etc. Obviously the language and the type of page it is. And then depending on which tool you're using, you're going to be able to use like prompts, or you can actually create a full outline of what you want your content to be. What I would recommend is being as explicit as possible in the prompts that you're giving it, or the outlines that you're creating in terms of your heading structures, what keywords you want to optimize for, what questions you want answered within the content itself. Once you've generated that content, remember the 3 E's: edit, edit, and edit. So you're going to want to review the AI-generated content for accuracy, grammar, and plagiarism. Again, depending on the tool that you're using, you may need to supplement those validations with other third-party sources like Grammarly or Copyscape. You're going to want to edit the content itself to refine your brand voice, make sure that your brand, the way you look at the world, is being encapsulated in that content. And you're going to want to add in related keywords. So not just variations of your primary search term, but if you think about, let's use an example. You think about local SEO as being your primary search term. You want to think about what are the overlapping concepts in terms of similar vector space, right? So if local SEO is in the center, we're going to explore terms like Google business listings, local citations, online reputation management, all of these different phrases that are not just semantic variations of local SEO, but encompass the overarching topic of local SEO. And you need to make sure that those keywords and phrases are properly integrated into your content. And then obviously you're going to want to follow SEO best practices around schema markup, around internal linking, putting strong HTML tags around pieces of important text on that page. And if you have images in your content, you're going to want to add alt image text attributes to those images. So essentially search engines can properly parse through that content, metadata, and microdata. Okay. So obviously, we have created our own platform here, which is Search Atlas, and we do have a suite of content tools in here. And I do know that some of you guys are subscribers to our platform. So I kind of wanted to walk you through like the process behind using Search Atlas to create content and some of the applications that it may have for you. So our tool does have a rather robust keyword research component to it. So you can start off with a generic keyword. In this example, we're using the keyword local SEO services. At the top, you'll see that the search intent is defined as commercial and transactional. You'll be able to see the relative difficulty the average monthly search volume, the trend of that search over time, the cost per clicks. You can even see the competitor ads that are currently running. And then you'll see 3 buckets of keywords down here. You're going to have related keywords, keyword variations, and questions that people are asking. So typically you're going to want to start with a generic or a broad keyword, and then you're going to want to use the keyword variations and related keywords to build a list or a cluster of targeted keywords that you're trying to optimize your page for or about to write a new topic for. Once you have that cluster, you're going to take that cluster and go into our content planner tool. Our content planner tool, you can give it a generic keyword like SEO citations or local SEO or really anything, and it'll build you between 100 to 400 different subclusters of related concepts. And it's going to aggregate those for us. So it'll have a primary keyword, it'll have long tail variations. It will show you things like the total traffic potential of that cluster, the relative competition, like how competitive is it to rank for that search term. And it'll give you metrics like search volume and cost per click and things like this. So then you're going to want to essentially pick one of these clusters, or you can download several clusters and create a content plan for the next quarter or the next year. Once you pick a cluster, it's going to look something like this. It's going to show you the total monthly search volume, the traffic potential, how difficult it is to rank, the volume, and the cost per click. And then you can use our AI in here to actually generate article suggestions based off this cluster of search terms. You'll get around a dozen different potential blog titles as well as initial starting prompts. You can then select one of the prompts that you like and then hit generate article. It's going to then import that title, those target keywords, and that initial prompt into our text editor. The next step that you would do here is actually click Open AI Generation, and it would open up a modal that will allow you to configure your tone of voice. So you can put professional, you can put casual, funny, or if you want to write like Baby Yoda, you can absolutely do that. If you want to write like Shakespeare, you can absolutely do that. You can also set your language and your point of view. The next step that I would personally recommend is using the draft generator. So the draft generator here on the right-hand side actually allows you to populate what you want the structure of your page to be. So you can plug in your H1. You can plug in which keyword you want that H1 to be optimized for. You can plug in a question you want answered. And our tool here will actually give you suggestions along the way. So all you would need to do is essentially select the keyword you want to optimize each paragraph for, select a question you want answered, and then allow the AI to actually generate that text for you. Once you're happy with the text that's been generated, you're going to hit add to article, and it's going to just add it to your document. The next step here is obviously to then optimize this content, to review it for your brand voice, but to also optimize it for search. And there are a few native features in Search Atlas that can help you do this at scale. So once you have your initial starting point, you'll notice that the content score is at a 69. Ideally, we want to be shooting for something in the high 80s or 90s. So the AI has given you essentially 80% of the work. Now it's up to you or your writers or your editors to do that 20% polishing to get it over the finish line, right? We would not just take this article and post it on our site directly. What we would do is take this article and finish it, polish it up, and then post it, right? So what do we do as a next step? We can click the meta tags button, and we can actually generate new titles and new descriptions based off of the keywords that we've optimized for. And they'll give you around a dozen suggestions, and you just click the one you want. Our tool will also populate the people also ask questions around the subject matter. These are questions that Google will surface in search results when you type in a query, and it gives you those little, people also ask modules. And those questions often have their own search volume. They often have their own cost per click. So preemptively answering those questions, either as part of an FAQ on a service page, an FAQ on a collection page, or just a question as a header tag, can help you, preemptively address the questions that people are asking, which will then again enrich the quality of your content because you are satisfying the user's search intent by doing so, right? You can also get internal link suggestions. This is something that if you don't have automation to do this, it's quite painful. You have to literally crawl your website and look for similarities between blog post A and service page B and try to build this mapping yourself. Our tool, you just plug in your website and it'll scan all of your blogs and all of your guides and all of your related resources, and it'll give you suggestions for which blogs or guides make the most sense to internally link to your page. And then on the right-hand side, we have this workflow that essentially shows you a prioritized list of keywords, concepts, and phrases that you should be including into your content in order to make sure that your content is more robust than your top-ranking competitors. This tool is actually quite intuitive. So when you hover over the suggestion, it will show you the metrics on the specific keyword at the top. It'll show you the recommended number of times you should use it. It would show you the competitors that are currently using that keyword. And when you hover over a competitor, it actually shows you a preview of their page and shows you how they included that keyword on their page. So you can figure out how to better contextually add it into your own copy. A question we get a lot is, where do these keywords come from, right? So the way we derive that keyword list of related concepts and phrases and ideas is essentially by scraping the top 20 search results for each keyword that you're trying to optimize your page for. So in this example, if you're trying to optimize your page for local SEO marketing services, here are the top 20 websites that are currently ranking for that phrase. It's going to show us their content score, their word count, their domain rating, the readability of their page, and an estimate of traffic that site gets. It's going to do this for all of the keywords that you've identified as your primary, so your top 3 to 5 keywords. It's then actually going to download and analyze the content of the top 20 sites, and it builds you this grid where it shows you the commonality between related concepts across the top 20 performing sites. And as you hover over each one of these little pixels, it shows you the competitor, and it shows you how many times that competitor used that keyword on their exact page. And again, it's going to do this for all of the keywords that you've entered as your primary search terms. So this list, all of these related keywords, is then used to analyze, or is used as a comparison to analyze the quality of the content that you've created. And then it gives you those recommendations of how you can bridge the gap between what you've created and what Google is currently rewarding in search today, i.e. your competitors. So really, once you create the content, if you're a writer, you're going to want to create it, finish it, do the review, create all the optimizations that we went through, and then mark it as needs review. And then you share it with an editor or someone else on your team for final approval. Once that approval has been completed, if your site is based on WordPress, you can actually rapidly deploy your content or updates to your content using our WordPress plugin. If your site is not on WordPress, you can just download the article outside of the content editor and post it on the site directly from there. So the idea behind Search Atlas as it relates to content is we understand what the appropriate steps are from going from a rough keyword or just a generic keyword and taking that keyword, building a cluster, creating a prompt, building an outline, optimizing the outline, considering all of on-page SEO best practices, meta tags, internal linking, images, etc., and then essentially synthesizing that entire process into one unified tool, right? Again, if you're using other tools, you can still replicate this process. It will just require you to have at least one more software subscription, like Ahrefs, SEMrush, etc. If you're using Search Atlas, you don't need any of those other tools anymore. You can obviously do the entire process soup to nuts within Search Atlas itself. Cool. So how else can you use Search Atlas as AI for SEO help? So we've actually created a SEO recommendation engine called Auto. And the way Auto works is you essentially create a project. So you plug in your website, and every 2 weeks, the Auto tool will actually give you recommendations or homework that you can do to proactively improve your SEO. So what it'll look for is things like, it'll give you suggestions for articles to write. So it'll say like, hey, this example's for link graph. We have a keyword researching tool on our website. So it's telling us to write a new article or a new blog about keyword researching. It's pre-populating the cluster of keywords that we should be optimizing for. and it's even giving us a little prompt for us to create that topic. If we don't like that topic, we can just shuffle the suggestions and get new suggestions. It's also going to scan existing pages that we have, like high performing pages or high value pages, and it's going to understand, if there are additional opportunities for us to enrich those pages by adding more related keywords into the copy, so we can get more value out of those pages. It'll also scan the site and give you internal link suggestions, and it'll say, hey, all of these pages, these related blogs should be linking back to this primary page. So it'll actually even automate the internal linking process. These tasks update bi-weekly, right? So every 2 weeks, you can essentially assign this as a task to someone on your team, or you can do this yourself. And it will just allow you to have peace of mind that every day, every week, every month, you're proactively improving your SEO. And it's in a guided, strategic way. It's not just like an arbitrary list of suggestions. This tool works really well if you also take the step to connect your Google Search Console to Search Atlas, because then it'll actually layer in your organic data. It'll layer in like your click-through rates, your impressions, which pages are performing the best for you, and it'll narrow your recommendations on pages that have the highest traffic potential. So you don't have to connect it to Google Search Console, but if you do, you get another level of granularity in terms of what pages you should be prioritizing and spending your time on working.
So Arman, Dima is asking, does Google analyze content as generated by a robot and AI, and will this not affect SEO performance in the future if Google treats AI badly?
Yeah, so Google does not analyze content based off of, is it a robot, is it a human? It's actually a lot more challenging than you would anticipate, because sometimes you can have content that was 100% written by a human that sounds like it was written by a robot. And you can have content that was written by AI that sounds way better than human-generated content. As we talked about earlier, Google does not care about how the content is created. It only cares if the content that is created is useful, helpful, or informative, right? So the process behind which you create that content, whether it's human, whether it's AI, whether it's a blend of the two, is actually irrelevant. It's just the end output that you publish on the internet. That is what Google is really going to care about. Is this doing a good job of satisfying the search intent behind the topic that it's being written about?
Thank you so much for the explanation, Marwan, and I hope it answers Dima's question. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave in the chat as well.
Yeah, definitely feel free to ask any other questions in the chat, guys. And if anyone does have a Search Atlas account, we do also have a series of additional AI templates. There are actually about 60 unique AI templates built into Search Atlas. And the idea behind this is, we understand the power of AI, but we also understand that not everyone has all these different subscriptions to these AI tools, or they don't necessarily understand the way to structure your prompts or to actually utilize AI to maximize your value. So we've actually built these plug and play AI templates. Again, there are about 60 of them, and they cover topics like email marketing, social media, posting. They'll cover ad copy for Google, ad copy for Facebook. We also I've integrated to Midjourney, so you can actually create new images directly from our platform. You can do video optimization, you can do product descriptions, you can do meta tags, you can do Google posts. So there are literally several high quality applications for the AI within Search Atlas itself. If you signed up for these tools individually for those applications, that would be quite expensive. So we've actually just consolidated that into one tech stack. And just a little bit of background, some of the way we aggregate all of the data in Search Atlas, it comes from a myriad of different sources, right? So we do have ChatGPT enabled in here. We have Midjourney. We have IBM Watson's natural language processing. We have Google's NLP in there. And then we're also integrated with SEMrush's API, with Ahrefs's API, with Majestic, with Moz, with SpyFu, with Google Keyword Planner. So all of these disparate data sources have been consolidated into one tech stack. And then we're also scraping the internet ourselves. And we're adding to our corpus of data that way as well, right? So the platform is going to continuously grow and evolve. So yeah, definitely, check it out if you guys haven't done so already.
GD is asking, is the AI-assisted keyword research process you described documented anywhere on your site?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a page on the website, which is Search Atlas SEO content. Fidan, if you want to put that in the chat, that would be great. We do have a full series of tutorial videos, both on our YouTube channel, on our website, as well as in the dashboard itself. We have really thorough written guides, video walkthroughs. So there's a ton of different ways to educate yourself on how to use it. We're also more than happy to do individual software demos for anyone that's interested as well. Cool. Yeah, so thinking ahead here, AI is definitely going to continue to advance and honestly become a lot more ubiquitous and easy to use. Understanding the do's and don'ts of AI can definitely help you save time. Also, some people are very hesitant to enter the world of AI. Don't be, right? This is the way of the future. This is like what the entire internet, the entire ecosystem is gravitating towards. You can definitely use AI incorrectly and hurt your SEO, hurt your website, etc. But if you're very judicious with the way you think about deploying AI and your content strategy and the output of what you're putting out on your website, AI would actually really help you accelerate your growth strategies quite significantly. Again, this point that I want to drive home is AI is not meant to replace humans, right? So if you have a ChatGPT subscription, or even if you have a Search Atlas subscription or any of these subscriptions, don't just go and fire all of your content writers. Don't go and fire all of your editors, right? What you should be doing with these tools is empowering your team to work smarter, to work more efficiently, and to just get more value out of the time from them. This is not meant to replace them, okay? A quick way to think about this is automate, not autopilot as well, right? So AI is helping you automate processes, but you don't want to use AI as a set it and forget it model, just like you don't want to put your SEO on autopilot. You want to have an efficient SEO strategy, but you still need to be guiding it, right? You still need to be hands-on and really looking at what is working, what's not working, what can I improve, what should I change, what experiments can I run? So leverage automation, but still have a careful hand when you're working through your strategies, both from a content and on-page SEO perspective. And yeah, as I mentioned, Search Atlas will continue to evolve and broaden the applications of AI and SEO. As we release new features and tools and innovations, we're going to be sending out emails to let everyone know. And we'll do additional webinars like this to go over specific features and updates to our toolkit and process.
So Selig is asking, if we connect our Google Search Console account, is the data kept for our use only, or is it aggregated and anonymized and used external of our own personal use with Search Atlas?
Yeah, great question. So all of the data, so we take data privacy very seriously. All of the data that is integrated both from Google Search Console and Google Analytics, because we integrate with both, it is native to the user account that set up that integration. No other team member, no other client or customer will have access to that data. That data is not, we are not able to share that data with anyone unless you give us explicit permission to say, hey, I want you to turn this into a case study or something similar. But all of the data for each individual account is sandboxed into that account only.
Also, Dima is asking, how long does it take now with AI to create a new blog and bring it to a good attendance? How much time are we saving now?
Yeah, so I would say with all things with SEO, the answer you're going to get a lot is it depends, right? So it's going to depend on the subject that you're writing about. If the subject is very light, what's the best dog collar, for example? Sure, you can write that relatively quickly. If the article is like, the definitive guide to local SEO and all the different considerations you need to know, that article is likely going to be quite a bit longer. So it really depends on the subject that you're writing about, right? And the relative difficulty of the cluster of search terms. I would say on average, if you're using the process that I described and you're using that within Search Atlas, you can create a well-written, polished, and optimized blog in about an hour, I would say is like a really solid time frame to do that. Assuming you have practice with the workflow, right? Like the keyword research, picking, building a cluster, creating a content plan, selecting a topic, turning that topic into a prompt, expanding that prompt, refining it, and then posting it. Once you become what I like to call a super user, you can do that entire process within an hour.
In addition to this, I want to say that we recently shared a tutorial on our social media as well. You guys can definitely follow LinkGraph on LinkedIn too. We just shared a tutorial on how to use AI first draft generator to create a content that scores above 90. So Dima, you can definitely check that out as well. And I hope it will be very beneficial for you too. And Paul is asking, is Search Atlas a full suite like SEMrush or Ahrefs, and it also incorporates AI functionality?
Yes, so that's exactly right. So it's not just a standalone AI product, it's a full, robust SEO suite. It includes all the different things you need for keyword research, gap analysis, keyword prospecting. It has a full suite of backlink tools to look at competitors' backlink profiles, to run link gap analysis, to look at spam scores, things like that. It also has a full site auditing feature. The site auditor also acts as a site monitoring feature. So if you plug in your website, you can set a crawl frequency. The tool will give you a succinct crawl with a prioritized list of action items, and it would periodically recrawl your site based off the frequency that you set and send you notifications if anything has changed. There's obviously a full suite of content tools. There's the auto SEO recommendation engine, and then there's the integration with Google Search Console and Google Analytics for first-party data. So I wouldn't say that there's a pure one-for-one match for Google's, for like SEMrush and Search Atlas, but the core features that 9 out of 10 users use SEMrush or Ahrefs for, we 100% have that within Search Atlas, in addition to all of the AI content.
Also, Jay is asking, does Search Atlas has a tool that will audit a blog if it's created by an AI?
No, so it's not going to. So that's kind of the thing, right? Like what we're talking about here is AI has the ability to create content that is on par or better than what humans do. So by default, there is no way to determine 100% certainty, is this AI created or not. Oftentimes, again, people are blending human writing and AI writing. So it is incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to truly delineate those two. But we do have a tool that allows you to audit the quality of the content in relation to the top ranking sites. It'll look at the content score, the keyword usage, the word counts, the heading presence, the schema, the meta tags, the internal links. So it'll do that entire process, but it won't directly say, hey, this was AI written or not, because that is not necessarily something you can say with 100% certainty.
So Dima, as a question, as an answer to your question about affiliate program, yes, we do have an affiliate program for Search Atlas and also for our SEO services LinkGraph as well. Mm-hmm. If you would like to have more information, I already left my email here. You can definitely follow up with me. We can provide you the specific link for you to share on your blog, and we do offer commission to everyone that signs up through your referral as well. I can give you more information about this through the email too.
Amazing.
So if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to ask. We have around like 10 minutes left. We're gonna make sure that we answer all your questions before we wrap it up. I also left a link for the software demo as well. You can definitely schedule a demo with our specialist. Her name is Daniela. She can reach out to you. She's amazing. She will walk you through the entire software. You can also check out our tutorials on our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. Patrick, yeah, we do offer a 7-day free trial of Search Atlas. So if you just hit the register page, you can sign up for any of the plans and you'd get a 7-day free trial, at which point you can then decide if you want to continue with the tool or not. Totally up to you.
Yes, we also left a link for that as well. Also, guys, I'm leaving our LinkedIn account. We share the contents, tutorials very often on our social media as well. You can check it too. Yes, Will, please go ahead and ask your question for Arman. Which of these NFT projects has a stronger backlink profile, link velocity?
I don't see the NFT projects that he's referring to. Will, if you want to shoot me those projects. And let me see something really quickly. And guys, I'm just going to share my screen really quickly and show you a couple things inside Search Atlas just while we're all here. So the tool that I'm showing you here is actually our on-page audit tool. The way this tool works is you're actually able to import any landing page, any target keyword, and define a market. You do have the ability to do micro-location targeting. So you could do country level targeting, state, city, county level targeting. The way the tool will work is it'll analyze the quality of your page in relation to your content, your technical score, your authority, your speed on desktop and mobile, and your backlink profile. And this is actually a very visual tool in the sense that it'll show you what your content score is in relation to the sites that you're directly competing with on page 1 of search. It'll show you what the average word count is. It will show you the readability, and it'll show you the performance against your competitors and where you're currently ranking and all the different metrics that impact a website's ability to rank. And then, on the right-hand side here, it's actually going to show you the speed on mobile and desktop. It'll let you know if you need to improve a certain metric. It'll let you know if there are any meta tags that need to be optimized or refined to better fit with character counts or to match the target keyword a little bit more closely. It'll check for indexing issues, if the page is in the sitemap or not. It'll look at keyword frequency, keyword density, keyword usage in title, schema markup on the page, things like this. It'll also give you a list of related search terms that you could be including into your content, their frequency, the recommendation, things like that. It'll show you related backlinks, kind of showing you sites that are linking to some of your peers, but maybe not linking to you. And it'll give you some of those internal link recommendations down here at the bottom as well. So these types of audits are quite powerful in understanding where are you deficient. Are you deficient from a content perspective, an authority perspective, or a technical perspective, right? And solving one or more of those items is obviously going to improve your page's ability to rank well in search. With the content tool, same thing here. You can set your location parameters. So you can do, world, country level targeting, state level targeting, city level targeting. You can use our keyword tool to determine what keywords you should be ranking this page for. It'll kind of give you the difficulty, all the core metrics, related search terms. It'll show you the current ranks, the historical ranks as well. It'll show you the ads that people are running, what their ad budgets look like. And it'll show you the top performing keywords that people are buying as well. And effectively, you're then just going to actually use either the writing prompt, so you can kind of give it a very targeted prompt, like what is local SEO? And you can just hit this write for me, and the AI will give you a response based off that prompt. Alternatively, you can use the full AI writing assistant and actually just create the AI using the draft here, filling in those prompts, or using any of the AI templates that we have down here, and configure your settings. Yeah, So the tool is, quite robust. We're continuously improving on it. If you guys want to sign up for it, we do have that 7-day free trial. If you want a personalized demo, feel free to shoot me a note or schedule using the link that we listed in the chat. We do also have tutorials in here. So if you click the Learning Academy, it'll give you all of our walkthrough videos, so you can actually see how the tools work in real time. Or you can click the little book icon and open up our SaaS Academy. That will give you tool tips, but it'll also give you like SEO best practices on keyword research, content strategy, on-page SEO, technical SEO, things like this. And there'll be links to our webinars and videos and stuff like that here as well.
So since we have only 5 minutes left, we will try to answer the questions very quickly. So for the Patrick is asking, how unique is the AI generated content?
So the AI generated content is going to be pretty much 100% unique, because our platform is integrated with Grammarly and Copyscape. So if the content that's produced, is over a certain percentage of like plagiarize or exact match, then the tool just won't populate it. It'll create a new prompt instead. So that's one of the big differences with this platform, is that it has those integrations native to it, which is a big portion of some of the issues that some of the other tools run into, actually.
Also, for real, I already shared Armand's email address. You can totally feel free to send you those questions and the website for Armand to check it out after the webinar as well. For John is asking, how many clients do you think one person could take on per month using these tools? Also, would you say about the client that wants to do SEO using a page builder that is always known to have a higher HTML to text ratio?
Yeah, so I guess there are a couple of questions in there. So in terms of like the cost of the platform, we do have like very low pricing, I would say. So the starter plan is like $79 a month. The most premium plan that we offer, which is our Pro plan, which is a full white label experience for agencies, is at $320 a month. If you don't need all of the other tools in the toolkit and you just want the content tools by themselves, we do offer that at $48 a month. And then if you pay yearly, we offer a 20% discount on the entirety of that. So I'm not sure if that answers your question there, John. And in terms of like actual services, we do have an order builder on our website as well, where you can actually look at what are the cost of individual services like link building or content creation or technical SEO or local SEO. And you can use that to create a custom proposal. And that way you have transparent pricing, you know exactly what you're getting, exactly what the deliverables are.
Yes, definitely. We have like lots of white label SEO services as well. John, you can get in touch with me or either Armand. We can definitely schedule a call to do the one-on-one consultation for your agency itself. And I think that's all. We have only 2 minutes left. I hope we answered all your questions, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the webinar as well. We will send you the replay video, share the relevant documents and informations. Make sure you check our software, sign up for the free trial, schedule a demo, and feel free to reach out to any of us, any questions that you have related to the webinar, SEO, our services, and also our software as well. And I hope I will see you guys in our next webinar.